Zach, please introduce yourself and your company and what you guys do.
Yeah, I'm Zach Schuchart with Optimal Dynamics. I am the senior vice president and head of sales for OD, based out of New York City.
Very nice, very nice. So what problem do you guys solve and who do you solve it for?
Yeah, the problem that we solve is the load planning and driver to load assignment problem. And we solve that for fleet operators, large and small, both shippers and carriers.
So one more time, the problem you're solving is what? The load planning?
We solve is essentially decision automation and the planning and dispatching operations.
Yeah, and we talked the other day about this before we got to the conference. Most companies aren't using softwares like yours. So how are they getting it done?
Yeah, traditionally in this space, software tends to not be on the leading edge of investment. Transportation is a very old industry, and this decision is a very complicated and hairy decision to solve. And our customers make hundreds or thousands of these decisions a day.
Yeah. So I think the first time you said to me load planning, I thought, oh, Trimble has a routing software for that. They'll tell you turn by turn how to get there. And you said, no, that's how you manage one truck that day.
Yeah, and not to discount the routing problem.
Super important.
Yeah, it is still a problem. But really, it is not as complex as a load planning problem, because it is a route is a defined kind of scope, and a load planning problem has a very uncertain future.
So you are saying if I have a big fleet, they obviously all need routing software from Trimble. Thank you very much. But you also need something at the network level.
Yes.
That helps me say, Zach, you take that lane. Joe, you take this lane.
Yes.
And 198 other trucks that have to be assigned.
Exactly. The thesis here is if you're trying to optimize drivers on loads that should have never been in the network in the first place, optimization and even route optimization only gets you so far.
Right. The weird thing about our business is I can kind of optimize around my schedule and my people, and that's what I need to do. And if I'm ever pushed late because somebody didn't unload me, it's almost like they unloaded that externality to the wind, right? It's not they're paying a little extra, but the company takes a beating on it.
Yeah, it's a ripple effect. And the shipper looks at it in a very myopic view because they have their own problems to solve. They're trying to sell their product. Where transportation is a small piece of what they look at, but to our customers, mainly the carriers, that's their livelihood. That's everything that they do.
Yep.
So they're already negotiating from different perspectives on, if a shipper delays a carrier, they're like, okay, well, we're going to true that up in an accessorial or a fee that we'll give you. But in reality, that delay has a ripple effect in the carrier network that's far more than just the fee that they collect.
Right. So how big do you need to be to get advantage from working with Optimal Dynamics?
Yeah, the floor is kind of dropping, but it's typically carriers or fleets that are north of 75 trucks that we typically work with. I mean, it's
private fleets too.
Yeah, private fleets as well. So we have several shippers as customers, and we're seeing more and more shippers actually look at their fleet very opportunistically instead of just looking at it from a service perspective. They're actually saying, well, how do I drive more cost avoidance or even profitability in my fleet?
I've done a lot of podcasts. I think this is the only second one I've done on this. Mm-hmm. This is a new layer of software, and it's above the shipment you're doing today. It's at the network level.
Yes.
And how does it fit into my transportation management system?
Sure. So there are two main components that we integrate into to drive the decision. One is the system of record of the transaction, which is the TMS. So that is why Trimble is such an important partner to ours and an amazing company, because they have a whole suite of TMSs that our customers use. And they provide the demand signal to our decision automation platform. So when I say demand signal, it is the economics of the load. So it is the origin, the destination, the revenue on the load, the pickup and delivery windows, and all of the other economics that are involved in the load. And we ingest that via an integration from the TMS, and then we write back to the TMS when we're making a different decision that's currently in place.
So they don't have they don't necessarily have to go over to log into Optimal Dynamics because it's being pulled into their TMS.
It is a two-way integration. However, we do have a user interface that streamlines a decision for a planner. So while they still are in the TMS, our solution is meant to streamline their day and allow them to make many more decisions quickly rather than making them sequentially in a TMS.
Yep. And I think, the name of the title today has right in here, Fleet Profitability. The reason you guys exist is because there is a profitability problem in this business. And we've had a lot of different technologies for a while now. We have a transportation system. There's all the technology. We're at the Trimble Insight Conference. There's technology for everything. But last year, a lot of trucking companies suffered. I mean, when I say last year, we're in 2025 towards the end. It's been a tough road here.
Yeah, it's been very tough for our customers. The market dynamics are not conducive for profitability. Our customers are constantly being squeezed from their customers on rate. There are a whole host of other peripheral challenges that they're seeing, especially with a lot of the regulatory impacts of the non-domiciled driver situation and all of the things that are creating a significant amount of headwind for our customers in a very depressed market. So anything that we can do to boost utility in their network and drive more profitability for them is something that's very refreshing to our customer base and something that we're very passionate about. And really, our sole mission is to drive utility and profitability in the truckload network.
Since we are here in New Orleans, and what a wonderful place to have a conference.
It is.
Talk about the importance of that Trimble relationship.
Yeah.
Because over there in the pavilion, there are a whole building filled with partners and customers, and sometimes even competitors. I think the nature of Trimble is we compete with you here, we partner with you here, but I think everybody has a view of the customer first. So if we have to cooperate in this area to better serve the customer, we're going to do so.
Yeah, so Trimble has been very welcoming to us, and we're very appreciative of that. Their innovation is very inspiring, and you're right, a customer-focused or customer-first approach to how we partner together really is the right thing to do, and you can see that in how we interact with one another and our customers.
Yep. It's interesting, now that my phone made some noise, I have to bring it up here. Somebody described last year when at this conference, they said you could look at Trimble as it's not the hardware like the phone. It's not necessarily an app, although they have an app, I'm sure. It's all those apps that are on the phone. In my phone, the Android operating system or the Apple operating system connects them and makes it easy for information to flow from system to system without being insecure. For the ELD or the telematics, we have Trimble for that. And super important, and I think that security has been talked about quite a bit this week. So is openness, so is AI powered. I know you got a lot of AI in your tool, but we'll get to that in a minute. But it's very interesting because it feels like the difference between, say my phone and the ELD telematics is they aren't supposed to be messing with it. They want all that information. I don't want my driver having to enter a whole bunch of information when he gets to a location. I want him to be able to say, there it is.
Should be intuitive.